Okay, data cleaning. So what do we mean by data cleaning? Well, when you have a data set, oftentimes it'll have some issues with it, and we want to examine, go through the data and figure out what the issues are and take care of them. So here are some possible ways in which data may be contaminated. So one is you can have duplicate data. So by accident you have the same record repeated, okay, twice or even more number of times. So if you have such a situation, you should be able to get rid of those duplicates. So we look at an example like that in SAS. Now there may be some coding errors like uppercase and lowercase. So like male, female. So if you may have M, uppercase M or lowercase m, if both are used in the data, and those two values will be treated as two distinct values, even though uppercase M and lowercase m both represent male. So that could be a problem. Then maybe there are some leading or lagging spaces that are added while typing. So you may have, like for female F, so you have a space and then an F, then that would be a unique value compared to simply F. So even though these two are supposed to be the same, so that extra space either before or after will make that into a unique value, and that's an error. So that needs to be corrected. And same with zip codes and social security numbers. There may be some problems like these. So then we have outliers. Outliers are observations that are extreme. Okay. Sometimes those extreme values are legitimate values, sometimes not. So you have to consult with the domain area expert and see whether that's a legitimate value should be included in the analysis or should be excluded. So these are the things that you should look for and take care of those issues if they exist. Okay, so now how do you detect outliers? So this is where plotting the data helps. So we already looked at one example where well, or if you haven't looked at it yet, okay, I have a video on this. So in SAS you can generate bar charts for all the variables, and you can examine the bar chart and see whether there are any extreme values or not. Okay. Once you detect an extreme value, then you have to determine whether it is an error or a true value, and so on. And we can also look at descriptive statistics. So descriptive statistics, again, Excel will generate descriptive statistics for all the numerical variables, and you can look at the minimum value and look at the maximum value. Does it make sense? Now suppose if you have heart rate and you have a minimum value of 0, okay, so that's obviously something wrong. And if the maximum value is 5,000, again, that's also a problem, right? On the other hand, if it is like 120 or something, 110, you're not sure, is it a legitimate legitimate outlier or an erroneous value? You can also look at the top 10% or 20% of values and the bottom some number 10-20% of values and see whether those values represent legitimate values, because outliers will occur in the extremes, either too low or too high. Now box plot is another visual chart that we can use that will show you, box plot will show you the kind of distribution that exists in the data. So we will look at examples of box plot in SAS.